Welcome back to Daily Chit-Chat with Gavin and Kate, your daily cozy English listening break. Grab your tea, take a breath, and let's talk about something grown-ups say all the time.
The classic, I'm so busy.
Yes, busy, tired, overwhelmed, doing a lot, but somehow also doing nothing.
That is the adult's experience.
Today we're chatting about how people naturally talk about being busy in real life. Not the dramatic, I have 500 meetings kind, but the everyday, my brain is full kind.
The fun type of busy. And the fake type of busy.
Okay, Gavin. Simple question. Are you busy these days?
Emotionally, yes. Actually, not really.
Same. My brain feels like it's spinning, but when I look at my schedule, it's like two things.
Exactly. I'm not busy. I'm just thinking about things in a very dramatic way.
And that's totally normal. So when people ask, are you busy? Most people answer with something soft, like, I've got a lot going on. It's been a busy week. Things are a bit full right now.
Not too strong, not too detailed, just enough to say, life is lifing.
There are two types of busy, real busy and fake busy.
Real busy is, I have deadlines, work, tasks, people waiting for me.
Fake busy is, I sat on the sofa for 40 minutes thinking about a text I need to reply to.
And somehow that feels just as exhausting.
It really does. Mental busy is powerful.
So when I'm fake busy, I say, my mind's a bit full today.
That's a good one. I usually say, I'm juggling a few things, even if the things I'm juggling are laundry, emails, and my emotions.
Very relatable. Let's do a little scene. Someone at work asks,
How's everything going? Busy?
and you want to answer politely without complaining too much. So you might say,
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy, but I'm getting through it. Pretty busy, but manageable. It's one of those weeks. One of those weeks equals chaos, but polite chaos.
exactly. Or if things are calm, you can say,
Not too bad. It's been steady. Quiet day today.
quiet days are beautiful, rare, magical. Life busy is different from work busy. Life busy is cleaning, cooking, paying bills, appointments, groceries, messages, remembering things, forgetting things,
And then remembering the things you forgot.
and being tired before you start.
So when someone asks, what have you been up to? You can say, just life admin, running errands, trying to get things done.
Life admin is the cutest phrase. It makes adult survival sound professional.
I'm a CEO. Of what? Laundry?
Sometimes you're not busy because of tasks. You're busy because your brain is doing gymnastics.
Yes, that invisible busy. It's not in your calendar, it's in your soul.
So when a friend asks, you okay? A natural answer is, my head's a bit full today. I'm a little overwhelmed. I've got a lot on my mind.
All gentle, honest ways to say, my brain is buffering.
Buffering forever.
You know what else makes you feel busy? Tiny tasks that take 2 minutes but live in your brain for 6 days.
Yes, like replying to a message that you open and then emotionally closed.
Or printing a document. Why does printing feel like climbing a mountain?
Or booking a dentist appointment. I would rather do anything else.
And the funny thing is, once you finally do the task, it takes 45 seconds.
And you feel like you've achieved greatness.
Another thing that makes me feel busy is when my schedule has one plan in the middle of the day.
Oh, yes. If I have something at 3 p.m., my entire day is gone. Morning, gone. Evening, also gone.
Because you're just waiting for the 3 p.m. thing.
Exactly. So if someone asks, are you free today? You can say, I've got something in the afternoon, so my day's a bit broken. I'm around, but I won't get much done today.
And sometimes you're busy doing nothing, like you're just tired, slow, low energy, and absolutely not functional.
That's also busy. Energy busy.
Yes, so I might say, I'm moving slowly today. It's a low energy day. I'm taking things one step at a time.
And that's still a perfectly valid kind of busy.
Let's talk about social busy, the polite way to say no.
Yes, when someone invites you out and you're tired, but don't want to say, I want to stay home forever.
So you say, I've got a lot on today, or today's a bit packed for me. This week's been busy. Maybe next time?
Simple, gentle, and 100% acceptable.
And honestly, sometimes you're busy because you booked a date with your sofa.
The most important person in your life. And there's another kind of busy people don't talk about enough. The busy that comes from having too many tiny social commitments, not big plans, just little things everywhere.
Yes, like you promised to call someone back, and then you forgot, and now 3 days have passed, and you need emotional preparation to say hello.
Or when you agree to catch up sometime, and suddenly that becomes a part-time job.
Catching up is exhausting. I need recovery time after every social plan, even the fun ones.
Same. Even when I enjoy it, I still need a quiet moment after. So when someone asks, want to hang out later, I always think, do I have social energy or am I socially bankrupt today?
Socially bankrupt is a real thing. And if you don't have the energy, you can say something soft like, I'd love to, but today's a bit full for me. Or, I'm recharging today, maybe another time.
Recharging is such a kind, honest word. It doesn't blame anyone. It doesn't make excuses. It just says you're human.
And honestly, a lot of people are busy because they overplanned. You think future you will have the energy, but future you is just still you.
Yes. When I schedule things, I always imagine future me as this superwoman who can handle everything effortlessly.
And future me is like, why would you do this to me?
So when someone asks, how's your week looking? A natural answer is, it's filling up, or it's getting a bit packed. Even if the truth is, I booked too many things because I believed in a version of myself that doesn't exist.
We've all been there. Sometimes being busy just means you didn't leave space for yourself.
Exactly. And sometimes you're busy because your brain is running 10 tabs at the same time. Plans, worries, ideas, appointments, reminders. All open, all loud.
Mental tabs are dangerous. When I have too many, I can't do anything, not even the small things.
So if a friend asks, how are you doing? You can say, I'm a bit overloaded today, or my mind's juggling a lot. People understand right away.
Because everyone has days where nothing is physically happening, but inside, everything is happening. And that's still a kind of busy, a real one, just invisible.
And that's our daily chit-chat for today. Being busy doesn't always mean doing a lot. Sometimes it just means being human.
Exactly. And if your brain is full today, you're not alone.
Tell us in the comments, how do you talk about being busy?
And come back tomorrow for another easy English conversation.
Bye.